Hi, Tiffanie Kellog here. Thanks for joining us for one of our interview series. As we're stuck at home with social distancing, it's an opportunity for us to learn more so we can earn more. Hope you enjoy. Okay, hello everybody and welcome. We're going to talk today about happy and healthy life. I am joined by Danielle Rush. Say hi, Danielle.
Hi.
So glad to have you. And thanks to everybody who is joining us out there in virtual world. Feel free as we go through today, if you have comments or questions, to put those in the chat box. So Danielle Rush is a certified life and leadership coach, and she's dedicated to supporting you on your path to a happy and healthy life. Her health journey began at the birth of her son 20 years ago. She lost weight through planning her meals and exercise, eventually becoming a certified personal trainer and physical education teacher at a private school in Virginia. Then she found yoga as a method of stress reduction and to relieve back pain. And she's actually now a certified yoga teacher. She offers individual programs for clients looking for comfort from dis-ease. So disease is actually, she didn't say this, but disease is actually, it's the opposite, or the dis of ease. And so she wants to help people that have that disease by increasing an individual's pain-free range of motion and promoting a consistent meditation and movement practice. She works with clients, typically live in person in Hernando, though she does work one-on-one with people, and she can do that virtually. And she's here today to talk to us about having a happy and healthy life. So welcome, Danielle.
Hi, welcome to you.
So glad to have you with us. So you want to tell us, what is it we can be doing to maintain or create this happy and healthy life in this time of social distancing?
Well, we certainly have a lot of time on our hands. And so I think it's a great time for reflection and really figuring out what you want. When you wake up in the morning, and also think in the future, in a positive light. We won't always be in this situation.
We'll bounce back.
Yeah, we adapt, as we said. So what are your goals? What are you looking to do? And I often say, when you wake up in the morning, what is the thing you want to do most? What does your perfect day look like? And then there are just certain elements that you have to put together to have that. Your mental, physical, emotional health.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more.
Okay. So I have come up with my 6 M's for the happy, healthy life. And we kind of reflect, look into it, and come up with a program and a set of goals and action steps that are going to help you reach the goals in each section. So the first one is meditation.
Okay.
And meditation may not be what you're thinking. Okay. It could also have a little bit of, it could be your prayer time, your quiet time, your self-care, general mindfulness, a little time away from the world, which we're getting a lot of right now. But just mind health and quiet time. Then we've got,
when it comes to meditation, like, what is your meditation practice?
My meditation practice, it does vary. Sometimes it's in the morning for 3 minutes. I get up in the morning, I have my morning routine, and it includes my 3-minute meditation, and it focuses on my breathing.
Okay.
But I also have moving meditations. Obviously, I have a yoga practice, but I also have a master's degree in artistic meditation. So I find painting to be a meditative practice.
Okay.
So if anybody has an activity that they love that allows them to focus on just that, it's a form of meditation.
And probably we shouldn't have the TV on in the background while we're doing it.
Yeah, probably not.
Now, you mentioned 3-minute meditating. That doesn't seem like a very long time.
Consistency is more important than length.
Okay.
Doing it every, a consistent practice, 1 minute a day.
Gotcha.
Is better than 30 minutes once a month. Yeah,
I actually found an app maybe a year or two ago when I was trying to start meditating, called Headspace. Are you familiar with Headspace?
I have heard of it.
Their introductory freebie program does have like a 10-part meditation, and it's like you pick 3, 5, or 10 minutes, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of nice, because I think about meditation of, let me sit here for an hour. That's a little hard for me. Unless I'm like binge watching TV, and then I can watch for 12 hours.
A lot of people say I can't meditate because I can't stop thinking. It's more about the process of trying to think of only one thing. So maybe your breath, maybe your brush strokes. I venture to say that a lot of people who are running are meditating.
That makes sense.
When they're in that flow of one thing.
Okay. Cool. So you got meditation.
Yes. Then we've got meals, which basically just healthy eating. And I believe it's a lifestyle, and I want you to have a diet versus be on a diet.
Okay.
But I also want it to what is sustainable for you. So there's a lot out there in the world. The only thing that I really, most importantly, am looking for is more plants and less processed food.
Gotcha.
And then from there, you've got to do what you're going to stick with, because if you can't stick with it, it's not worth it.
Yeah, it was interesting as I was prepping, and I've noticed this during hurricane season the last couple of years, because used to we had all kinds of canned goods and all kinds of like processed and pasta in the pantry. Well, I have like one shelf of food in the pantry anymore because almost everything is in my fridge because it's the natural stuff. I'm like, oh, we don't have cans and cans of like SpaghettiOs and raviolis and green beans. I'm like, we do it all fresh. It's not as easy to hoard that stuff. The bananas go bad after a couple of days.
Yeah. And frozen foods are a great backup. They're usually frozen fresh. So, you definitely, and you have to do what also fits your life, your income, your location, all of that. So It's always about doing your best in the moment.
Okay.
So then we've got movement.
All right.
Okay. So just get moving. Our bodies were made to move. And Shailene Johnson is a coach that I like. She has she's been in the fitness industry for over 20 years. She started with fitness videos and has moved into the coaching arena. And she says you have to find your soulmate workout.
Okay.
The one like your person, right? You've got your person. I've got my person. We have to find your workout too. That one that when you wake up in the morning, you're excited to see it.
Gotcha.
You want to do it. So for me, I love yoga, but I've always loved weightlifting and kickboxing. So, but with yoga really being my soulmate. So you have to find, running, walking, swimming, tennis. I don't care what it is. I want you to move.
Gotcha.
And then from there, you have to keep in mind that there is strength, cardio, and flexibility. So you'd want to just like have some good best friends along with your soulmate.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it would be boring. Well, maybe not boring, but there's more variety when there's more than just one person in your world. That makes sense.
Yeah. And you tend to get, even if it's your favorite workout in the world, you'll never tire of it. Repetitive use injuries are more common if you're only doing one.
I mean, if we think about it, social distancing going on right now, like Rob's still working, so he's still out and about at least 2 or 3 days a week. So we're not stuck in the house all the time together, which to me, I think is probably a good thing because, 24/7 for, a couple of weeks would probably be a bit much. We need a break.
Exactly. I just got a bigger house, so my husband and I have more space in the middle. I like it. It works.
All right. So that's the first 3 M's. What are our last 3 M's?
So those first 3 are very much your physical health, and the next 3 are more where we get in mental and social. So first, your motivations. And this is, what are your passions? What do you want to be when you grow up? When you wake up in the morning, what do you have to do? I have to make things. I'm a painter and a chef. So I want to make delicious food. Maybe you want to travel. So you're in athletics, something that is just, and this could be your job as in your passion. Aren't we all blessed if we get to make our passion our job?
Yes.
Though another writer I really like, Emily Wapernak, says it's okay to have a good enough job and then have plenty of time for your passions.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
Something you don't mind going to. You're happy, the people are nice, but it leaves you a great schedule to go out and learn the violin or travel the world or DIY your life away. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then we've got, now you're going to love this one. This is Tiffany's, merriment.
Okay. So that's how are we having fun?
This is our having fun. And this is also our social activity, our love, our relationships. Usually our connection with other people and just that inner joy. Cool. And a lot of times it comes because you're healthy. So healthy and you're moving, you've got a better attitude, more energy. Oh, you're following your passions and your motivations, but just general joy. And then finally, messaging. And I know I've heard you say it, a positive attitude is really everything. What are you putting out there to the universe? What biggest is what are you saying on social media, especially right now? But also the first impressions that people have of you, your self-improvement, your growth as an individual, just positivity is the word that comes to mind, but basically what do we think of when we think of so-and-so?
Gotcha.
So those are my 6 M's.
Okay. And so if we want to focus, do we need to start off looking at all of the 6 M's, or do we maybe let's start with one today, and then tomorrow maybe put the second one in? How do we want to do that? And while she's getting ready to answer us, if you have any questions, because this is going to be just a short little Zoom call, if you have any questions, pop them into the chat box, please.
So definitely we could go triage mode. If you have an area of your life that it's maybe not the best time to start an exercise plan if you have difficulties in your marriage, or you're about to get fired, or you kind of have to go and okay, what are our priorities? You want to set up when you're writing out your goals. I really do, writing is a big thing.
Okay.
Writing down your goals, your experiences, what has to be done now versus later, what can we wait off, maybe going back to school isn't great right now, because of a financial situation, and we need to get the job situation or the family situation. And no, doing everything at once is probably not, especially if a lot of changes in there. So, but I really like the idea of the headspace being a little clearer.
Yeah. And, I think that if we can start off the day with that, I like the idea of meditating in the morning, like my morning routine, read a book, like I read a chapter of a business book, I meditate, I plank for 60 seconds. Well, I'm back up to a minute and 45 now, but that was my original. Yeah. I drink 8 ounces of water. What am I missing? Oh, and I Imagineer, which is my form of journaling. And I don't always do them in order, because sometimes it depends on how I feel like waking up. But I find that if I wake up and I'm doing that, I feel so much more accomplished and I get so much more done, versus if I wake up and I grab this.
Right. Yeah.
And all the negativity that's going on out there.
It's not the time for that.
No. To me, my goal is I don't even want you to look at that. I mean, I want you to laugh and maybe make fun of the situation, but I definitely don't want you to look at it and be like, oh, this is depressing.
Yeah, I agree. I have my morning routine. It only takes about 10 minutes. And when I walk out of the bedroom, part of the morning routine is a hug from my husband.
Oh, that's awesome.
I like that extra little relationship consistency is really nice. And then he always hands me my first cup of coffee.
Oh, that's super nice. How do we get us one of those?
Right? It's a perk. I like it.
And one of the things you mentioned was movement. And I know you have something going on online now. Can you tell us about that movement challenge you got?
Yes. I have a 21-day yoga challenge. So you could, yay, look at that. I've got it comes with a graphic. It's on my website, www.redlifeyoga.com. So it's a standing yoga sequence that's great for beginners, but you could also edit it if you have some experience, make some changes. There is a video of me doing the standing sequence. It only takes about 5 or 6 minutes. And there's a checklist you can check off. Any kind of additions, any way you want to change it to make it a little bit more for you. And after 21 days, just email me and let me know.
Cool. And yeah, I'm not starting. So tomorrow is my husband's birthday. We're kind of taking the day off. My goal is to start the 21-day challenge on Friday. So if you want to start, if any of y'all watching want to start that with us, we'd love to have you.
All right.
He doesn't know that he's doing it yet, but I'm doing it. Yes. Elizabeth wants to know, how do we stay focused when trying to meditate? I squirrel so terribly bad when trying to focus on my breath or otherwise that the meditation doesn't seem to work.
Okay. Well, the always going back to the anchor. So the anchor could be the breath. It could be a mantra. You could even keep something in your hands. If you've ever been in the yoga sphere, there's malas, which are a necklace, a bracelet, and you can actually hold the beads, count the beads, or think of, I had a young woman in the class who had trouble, and I had her go through the steps in her mind of baking cookies. She got all of the ingredients out, wet ingredients, dry ingredients. She closed her eyes. She put everything in the mixing bowl. She scooped the cookies onto the pan. She put the cookies into the oven. It was just thinking of one thing while she was slowly breathing. And it's the being able to control your breath and slow things down and focus on one thing. You could pick something else. imagine yourself, the imagery of walking through down a path. I used to do, imagine myself kayaking because that was a comforting thing. Or think of a place that you want to be. It's going to happen. Your mind's going to wander. As long as you always go back to the thing.
Gotcha.
You're doing the practice, and it gets over time, and consistency is the big thing.
All right, cool. And I think that's the only question we have. Sometimes people like to ask lots of questions. Sometimes we have lots of lurkers. Not that there's anything good or bad about that. While you're putting in your last minute questions, anything else you want to leave with us, Danielle?
Always do your best. That's really pretty much it. We tend to beat ourselves up. In our head, we have a roommate that's living there that wasn't invited, giving us their opinion. Just shut it down and realize that you are beautifully and wonderfully made, and you just always do your best. If you're always doing your best, then you really have no criticism to have.
Awesome. And where can we go to find you?
My website is www.redlifeyoga.com.
All right. Cindy wants to know, I have seen bells used in meditating. What is that for?
It's just another anchor.
Okay.
So the anchor, the focus to bring you back. There's a chanting, finger, like motions with the hands. It's just another way to set a pace and a rhythm and a focus.
Okay. Well, that looks like all of the questions that we had for you. Thanks everybody for being here. You can find Danielle on our website. She's also on Facebook. I am looking forward to, hopefully when this gets over, puppy yoga, because I know you're going to do that before this all started.
Wow.
Right. So I'm looking forward to puppy yoga whenever we get out. What a fun way to get back going. And again, if you guys want to join me in the 21-day challenge, I'm going to start on Friday if you want to be accountability partners.
Sounds great. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for being here, and enjoy your Wednesday.
Thank you.
All right.